Hello, and thanks for joining me today as we're going to take a walk through the 31P1 software. As you can see, we're on the site 31p1.com, and I'm already on the login page. So across the top you see the various places you can click. I'm on the login page, and there's 4 different logins. As an employer, this is where you would go to set up and then manage your 31P1 software. So you would click on employer login, which I've already done. You put in the email address associated with your account and the password that you created, and then you just click log in. So we'll go ahead and do that. That's going to take us to the dashboard in the 31P1 software. So in this area, you can see the various things over here on the left, the dashboard, and that's where we're at. We've got employees, pay period reports, enrollment forms, and support. And then here we've got the steps to take this new software that you are now part of and set it up and then begin using it. So I'm going to walk through these steps, step 1, step 2, and step 3. We're going to take a look at the full software and give you a complete tutorial on how to use this. And of course, you can reach out to us anytime at support at 31p1.com. So let's go ahead and get started. First thing we do after we've logged in is we go to settings and set your company up. So I'm going to click step 1. In this area here is where the account settings are for all of the various settings you'll need to do for your company. And so first thing you see your company logo, you can come into this and browse and look and find your logo on your computer and then upload the file into it. And so what will happen is your logo will be on all of the reporting, all of the reports that you'll be able to print from the 31P1 software. Of course, your company name, your company email address, whoever is going to use this is probably the email address that you want to put there. Each time you do something, you would, on any of this software, if there's one of these buttons below it, if you make a change to the email address, for example, you would want to make sure you hit update email address. You can change your password at any time. Again, just change it and then click update password. Here you can have multiple locations on our software. And so if you have more than one store or more than one place where employees work and you want to have them split out into those stores, then you can do that here. And you just add the next location name and hit add location. In this case, this demo account, we've got 3 listed currently. And then down here, the company match settings. You just go through each one of these. You click on this, where you're at. Currently, we are offering this in the United States and Canada, so you'd be one of those 2. The region is the state. Pay frequency is how often you pay your employees. We go all the way from daily through annual. Probation period is if you want to set a time that an employee has to be on the 31P1 before you start doing your match. If you want to allow them to start immediately, then right here you would have 0 days. But if you want to have a time frame where they're in the 31P1 saving program and your match doesn't kick in until that time frame, then you can choose up to 180 days in that spot. On your company contribution, whatever you've determined you're going to contribute to each employee's savings, this is where you put that in a percentage form, or you have the opportunity to just do a flat contribution. So maybe you want to just do $50 a month to every employee, regardless of what they're saving, and that's where you would put that. So you have those 2 different options, either a percentage contribution or a flat contribution. This max contribution per employee per pay period is so that you can set the maximum amount that you'll contribute. And so if you're doing a 20% contribution rate, but your max is going to be $20, then that tells them what their max is. It tells them what their maximum is, where they get the match, I should say. So they can save more, but their match only goes up to $20 in this instance. And then this max changes per year, per employee per year. You can set that at 0. You can set it whatever you want it to be. It'll be on the guidelines when you and the rep, the 31P1 rep, goes over this with your employees. And what that allows is you can let your employees know, okay, you've signed on to the 31P1. In this demo account, we're saying that an employee can change make changes to their 31P1 up to 2 times per year. But you could make it 0, or you can make it, as many times as they want. And then you would hit update match settings. So you would fill all of these out, choose between company contribution percentage or flat contribution. And if you don't have a max, you just put 0 there. But if you want to have a maximum that you're going to contribute to any given employee, you would put that there. And then hit update match settings, and this will all be saved in your company settings. And all of those things will now be a part of the enrollment process and also all the reporting. So I'm going to go back to the dashboard. We've got the company set up. And now I'm going to go to step 2, manage your employees. One thing I'm going to show very quickly, just that you can see here, but our 5 denominations of gold are right here on your dashboard, and you can see what the current price is anytime you log in. And of course, we also have them on our website. But if you want to know where the pricing is at any given point, you can either look at 31p1.com, or you can be looking in your dashboard here. And these update constantly. So back to employees in step 2, manage your employees. I'm going to go ahead and click on that. Now, the very first time you set up is really the time that it's going to take the most time, and it won't be that hard to do, but I'm going to walk through that process with you. So you've got 2 options on how to set up employees. The first is to download a spreadsheet. If you download this spreadsheet, it's going to show you an Excel format that we've created in the way that you need to take from your accounting software and export into Excel, so that you can then put that into the Excel spreadsheet we have and upload it to upload that Excel file to the software, and then it'll automatically be into the system. So that's one way that you can do it. Virtually all accounting softwares allow you to export to an Excel spreadsheet. So you can download our spreadsheet and take a look at, which I'll do right here. Take a look at the way that it needs to look, and that way you can then go get that information from your accounting software and export it into this spreadsheet. Okay, and then once you have that, save it onto your computer, and then you just upload the file. Choose the file and upload it, and then it'll automatically go right into our software. If you don't want to do it that way, you have the option to go in and put each employee in that's going to be on the 31P1 savings plan in individually. And so you would just follow the directions: employee name, the last 4 of their social security number, or the employee ID that you use if you have a different way of tracking your employees, the location that employee is at. In this case, we have the 3 locations, so I would choose. And then this is where their email account goes and their password. And you'll see on the paperwork when we get to that point that when they choose to sign up for a 31P1, they will fill in their email address, their personal email address, and they'll fill in a password. Now, the importance of that is because will be able to log into their account anytime from anywhere with the internet, and they can look at how their account is doing, and much like logging into a bank account. So they won't have to come to you as an employer, and ask you questions. Well, where am I at? How's my savings going? They can go look at it anytime. So on the email section here, it will automatically have something in that field. You will need to put in their email address and their password. Exemptions will be on the paperwork that they fill out. You'll just take that paperwork and put it in here, or you'll take it off of your accounting software. But when they sign up for the 31P1, they're going to fill all this information out again, even though you already have it in their file. Their marital status. Now here, the employee contribution. This is what they've chosen on their paperwork that they've signed. This is how much they want to save post-tax. And then the threshold, again, they'll check which one they want to save in. So you'll be able to go in and choose that. And then the enrollment type, again, they'll choose which one they're going to do. They're either going to have their gold shipped to them every quarter, which will be shipped to you, and then you'll distribute it to your employees, or they can have it vaulted with us. And so that's where you will go in here and you'll put in whatever they chose from their paperwork. Their start date is when they started with you as an employee, or it could be the start date of your 31P1, whatever you determine. And then of course their termination date is if they quit, leave your business, you can go in and add this. So once you've done this, if you're doing it the add the individual employee, then you would hit add new employee, and they would be into the 31P1 system. So the first time you do your setup for your company, you'll do all the employees that come on. But then from then on, as you move forward and you hire new employees or employees that's been with you but wasn't part of the program, and you make it available to them to come on at any time, and you're doing them one at a time, of course, this is what you would do. So once that is done, you can take a look at your employees, and you see here the list that we had put in for our demo account. And you can see they got their employee ID, got their name, their employee ID, their location, their start date, and in this case we put in when they started with the company. And then you see here they're either enabled or disabled. If they're disabled, you can go in at any time and disable someone. Maybe they're on leave, or they have come off the 31P1, but they may come back on it at some future date. You don't want to take them out of the system, so you can go in here and edit them. And you, at that point, when you click the edit button on any employee, you can see their current balance. You can see that you can change their password. If they've forgotten it, they'll have to come to you to change it for them, or if they just want to change it. And here's status, and I was showing that disabled enabled. You can come in here and change it to whatever you want it to be. If they were to move locations, this is where you would come. If they were single and then they got married, if they've changed their exemptions, if they want to change their contribution amount, if they've changed what they want to save in, if they were vaulting it and now they want it shipped. So you can see here, this is where you would make changes. This incentive bonus, I wanted to point out that if you have if you offer bonuses to your employees and you decide you want to use the 31P1 as a place that you can add a bonus to them, you can come into this at any time and you can select this and put in the bonus that you're going to kick into their savings plan. And when you hit submit bonus, let's say we're going to give an employee a $100 bonus. You see here the current balance is $14.54. When I click submit bonus, this is going to automatically change it, and it's going to go into $114.54. So now their current balance is that. Okay. Any changes you make, always make sure you click update employee at the bottom once it's done. I'm going to go back to show all employees. So we did step 2. All of our employees are in. If I want to take somebody completely out of the system, I can just come in here and click delete and it'll take them out. Not sure that I would recommend that, just so that you don't lose any files. You would always have them here, but you could do that if you wanted to. So I'm going to go back to the dashboard, and the pay period is step 3. You've got your account settings in now. You've got your employees set up, and you can manage them at any time with changes that need to be made or additions with new employees or subtractions employees have left. And then you can go to step 3, which is submit a new pay period. I'm going to click on that. And this brings up the pay periods, and it shows you your most recent pay period right here. Okay. So 5/18/2016. So we had a pay period go in yesterday. This pay period end date is always set to the day that you're looking at it. So I'm looking at it 5/19/2016, and that's what's in there. So let's say my pay period ended on the 15th, but I'm just now putting it in, then I would want to go in here and change that. And the format that you see is how you need to put it in. So if it's the 5th month, it would be 05. If it was the first day, it would be 01, and then the full year. This is the format you need to put it in. If payroll was today, then this is already done for you. If the pay period ended today and you're putting it into your system today, then this is ready to go. And all you would do is click add new pay period. And what happens is everything goes straight to calculates based on everything that is put in on each one of those employees and on your match. Now, something I'm going to show you here is that in the system, you see there's the beginning balance, then the employee contribution. We have deferred contributions and employer contributions, and then total contributions. What we've done is we've allowed you flexibility as the employer to put your employer match in whenever you like. And so you can you could choose to do it quarterly. You could do it every pay period. You could do it semi-annually. You could do it annually. And again, it's just a way for you to somewhat use this as a retention tool. Your employees will know, you'll let them know that I'm going to pay your match quarterly, for example. And so when I hit add new pay period, I wouldn't do anything else, and my contributions based on my 20% would go into the deferred contribution column. So it will not total. So if you look at this last pay period, their beginning balance was $422. Their contribution was $50. My deferred contribution was $924. Post tax, my 20%. I didn't, when we ran this pay period on the 18th, we didn't do add employer match, so it went into the deferred column. So you see here employer contributions is 0. Total contributions then is $50. So the deferred is running it for you, but it's not going to this pay period's total contribution. So now they had $422 plus the $50, and the cost per gold for $54.42. Their purchase threshold on this employee, they're buying it, they're exchanging for 1 grams. So on this pay period, they didn't get a gram. They were really close. They were 20 cents off. So their ending account balance was $54.22. The cost for 1 gram the day that this pay period was run was $54.42. So no bars were purchased. So their beginning balance the next time we run payroll, this $54.22 will jump over to here, and then they'll have their contribution of $50. If at that point you're adding your match, you would click add match, and this, all that was in the deferred, would jump to the employer contributions for that pay period. When you clicked add match, it'll all go there, and then it'll all total here to total contributions, and then however many needs to be, the threshold is hit, however many needs to be bought will be right here, and then whatever's left over of their funds will go here, and then of course it'll go to the next pay period. Anytime you make if you make a mistake, it's very easy. You can just hit delete last pay period, go in and fix the issues you had, and then go back and add new pay period and do it again. It's very simple, and it happens, so it's a very simple process. You can also delete all pay periods. So if something happened, maybe you run 3 or 4 pay periods and there was a mistake found 3 or 4 pay periods in, and didn't catch it until then, you can go back and delete them all and go back and add them with the mistake fixed. Down at the bottom, it shows how much this pay period, the total order, needs to be made. So in this pay period for the demo company, there needs to be 3 1 grams, 3 5 grams, no 10 grams, 1 half ounce, and no ounce. And at that point, that day that you put this in, you would click buy gold. And it's going to show you the totals that's going to come out of your account that you've set up with us. So in this case, 1626.13 of your match and the employee savings, and you click purchase. And of course it's showing this because we've got it on a demo account, but it goes to the PayPal and you'll follow the instructions there. Very simple. So once you have done that, you're done for that pay period. Okay. Now I'm going to go into the reporting. Well, actually, I'm going to go back and look at enrollment forms very quickly. I click on those, and you notice that the logo that we had in there is in there. This is the form that you're going to give to every single employee when you roll this out, and then it needs to be a copy of your blank forms needs to be in your new employee hire packets, so that whether it's your HR or the manager that hires or whoever, when you hire a new employee, they have the opportunity to be a part of this gold savings plan, this benefit program that you've set in place. So the employee would get this, and they would fill this out. Every single one would fill this out. Now, if they're not participating, they would put a check mark here, and their contribution would be 0. But they all still need to fill this out and sign it and date it, so that you know and they know they were offered this benefit plan. You don't want to be in a position where some people didn't know about it, and then they can claim they didn't get the opportunity for that benefit plan. And your HR, of course, will help you make sure that ensure that all of your staff receives these. So the first time you roll this out, every single employee needs to fill this first page out, and if they're not participating, they still need to fill it out, sign it, date it, and turn it back in. There's a little gold analysis here for them to look at, and it illustrates the how it works, and if your employee, if you're matching, and it puts in your match, so they can see what their money is buying, shows the market price and the over under market. And with the 20% match, they're actually getting the gold under market considerably. The guidelines, there's two options, option 1 and option 2. Option 1 is for them to receive their physical gold at the end of every quarter. So every quarter the gold is then shipped to you and then you distribute. Or option 2 is that they would be part of the exchange program, and 31.1 will vault their gold. And so all of your information is in here, how much you're matching, your maximum match, what they can choose to save, how many times they can change this annually, and all of your stuff just automatically populates into these reports or into these guidelines whenever you do company setup. And then you print these for each employee, and they go through, they sign, they choose the one they want to be a part of. If they want to be a part of option 2, then they would print their name here, and then they would sign and date it, and then they would turn it back into you. And that way, when you go in and add your employees, you'll use these forms to determine, if you'll remember back to that, you'll use this form to determine which way they want to save. If they want the money, if they want the gold coming to them every quarterly and they receive it, or if they want us to vault it, and you'll put that into the system. So if a person's, one of your employees says they're not going to participate, then they would just turn in this first sheet. And when you print these, each one of these is on its own page. Okay, so all three, and it actually turns out to be 4 pages, but all 4 pages would be available to every employee, whether the first time you roll it out or each time somebody new comes on. So I'm going to close out of that. Reports. Here you can go in and look at any time. There are employer quarterly reports that you can take a look at, and I'm going to click on that, and this is for 2016. And of course you can, right now that's all that's in this, but as the years go by, you'll be able to go back and look over previous quarterly reports by year. And this quarterly report basically will show you, and right now it's showing zeros on this demo account, but it will show you where you're at in quarter 1, in this case quarter 1 of 2016. So it'll show what you have, what every employee has contributed, what you've contributed, if you have deferred contributions that haven't gone in yet, any bonuses that you've given to that employee, and then the total contribution, and then the totals that they have, the thresholds that were met and what they've done, and then the year to date shows you where you're at. So you can look and see what you've contributed and what you have in deferred contributions and any incentive bonuses for your company. And in this case, it's by location, so we've got 3 locations. I can look at all 3. Okay. The pay period reports, again, are for the employees, and so at the end of each pay period, or at the end of each quarter, you will print these reports and actually run 2 copies, because the gold, when it comes in, or if they're vaulting it, either way, the employee will get a copy of this report. They'll sign here, they'll print here, and this is one thing that will be changed soon. It'll say have received if they're getting it, or if they chose option 2 on their report, it will say have vaulted with 31.1 instead of and have in my possession. So they will print here, they will sign it and date it, and they will hand that back to you, and then they'll get to keep a copy so that they know where they're at. It shows what they've contributed, your contribution, the deferred contribution maybe that hasn't kicked in yet, any incentive bonuses and the total, and then what they've bought. So this report will be populated for that quarter, and will show everything that they've bought. And then of course you can see just as I scroll down, it's got all of the employees that are in the program. Okay, And the other thing that I've already pointed out, but I'll point out again, is that your logo will be at the top of all of the reporting and all of the paperwork that the 31 produces. So it's got your name all over it, as well as 31P1. Close out of there. You can look at the employees individually. If for some reason you want to print something for an employee, and again, they'll be able to go in and look at their own report with their email and login. But if you wanted to print something for them, you can do a lifetime report, or you can do it by quarter, and it will just be that employee. Okay. So go back to reports, and you can search by employees, you can search by location. So there's many different ways to find reports and to take a look at where you or an individual, or you as a company or individuals are in their reporting. The last thing that I'm going to show you here is support. And anytime you've got an issue, a question, a concern, a problem, you just put in your name here, your company name, your email address, the message, and hit send message. It's going to go to us at support@31p1.com. You can do it here, or you can just email us at support@31p1.com from your normal email address anytime you have problems, and we will respond within 24 hours. And so if there's issues, you can, of course, talk to your rep, and hopefully they can help you. But if there's something you want to talk to us directly about, please never hesitate. Just send us an email either through your back office or through your normal email structure, support@31p1.com. So I'm going to click back on dashboard, and we are done with this tutorial. Once you have your software set up, you're good to go. And when you're finished with a pay period, you can just go right here on this button, and we're going to log out, and it says, "Are you sure?" And I'll say yes. And it's going to take me back to the login page on 31p1.com. Thanks for taking a look at this tutorial. Use it. It'll be in your back office at all times. Your representative also has it and can walk through it at any time. And of course, you can always reach out to us at 31p1 at support@31p1.com. Thanks.